Alright, we got the new Jujutsu Kaisen spoilers, and in this chapter, it looks like Sukuna might be close to death or just straight up dying. Because Yuta, inside of Gojo's body, is launching a freaking hollow purple at Sukuna, who cannot move because Inumaki has finally showed up and froze him with his cursed speech technique. But also, let me point out before we get into it that this chapter is supposed to be 263, but now apparently it is 262 part 2. So just keep that in mind. Yuta can't use any curse technique other than Gojo's Limitless right now. He notices that since the time Sukuna lost his left arm, he hasn't used World Cutting Slash. Yuta thinks that Sukuna doesn't have any other ways to overcome Limitless other than using amplification. So this makes sense, and I guess this is pretty much what's been going on. Sukuna can only really deal with Limitless at this point by using domain amplification, where he can just bypass Gojo's curse technique essentially, but at the cost of not being able to use his own curse technique. But that will also only take him so far, as we've seen in their previous fight. That's why Sukuna went through all that trouble of developing the World Cutting Slash so he could defeat Gojo with it. And now he can't use it because he's, missing those two arms that are necessary for the hand seals that are needed to perform the World Cutting Slash. Because surely if he could use that, he would have just killed Akotsu again like he killed him originally. Or kind of killed him. Yuta lifts and throws Sukuna and kicks him away. He then lands a punch on Sukuna's head, but Yuta is having a slightly hard time trying to adjust to Gojo's long arms and legs. Yeah, Gojo's like 6'3". I don't know how tall Akotsu is, but I don't think he's that tall. Yuta knows that he can't master Gojo's Limitless curse technique with just one swap training, and he says, "Now I understand why the 6 eyes is a must need." Yuta remembers Gojo saying, "It's okay, I'm the strongest," and thinks, how much did it take to say that confidently? But Sukuna notices that Yuta is struggling with Gojo's curse technique and asks if Yuta really has the time for this and punches him away. Kenjaku has informed Sukuna about Yuta's copy curse technique. He thinks the requirement to copy is most likely Rika consuming a body or a part of the body. But Sukuna wonders if Yuta can use the curse technique he had copied before, but realizes that Yuta can only use Limitless now. Sukuna ponders how long would Yuta's copy curse technique last. If Kenjaku's curse technique ends, will Yuta still have Gojo's body? And what if Yuta hasn't even thought of what would happen after this fight? Sukuna slowly realizes what Yuta's plan might be as he remembers Gojo's hollow purple. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Factor. And also, if you're familiar with HelloFresh, which I've personally used and loved, they're in partnership with Factor. Eat stress-free this summer with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals, because every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. You can choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. Factor also now offers loads of snack options like breakfast, smoothies, juices, small bites, and more to keep you going no matter what's on the schedule. I tried the sun-dried tomato chicken with zucchini noodles. This tastes incredible. They pack so much flavor into this. The chicken is always cooked how I like it. It's tender and juicy, and the zucchini noodles are really great as well. I also tried the queso fundido and ground beef with cilantro cauliflower rice and roasted peppers. This is probably my favorite meal from Factor. The taste on this queso fundido with the ground beef is absolutely amazing. You really need to try this for yourself. And the cilantro cauliflower rice with the roasted peppers are just as good and pair with the ground beef and queso fundido so well. I can't get enough of this. Oh, and also speaking of those add-ons, I got some of Factor's cold pressed juices. I tried the apple beet ginger and it is so delicious. Factor probably has the best juices I've ever had in my life. Like, you feel better just from the first sip. So guys, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code Zhoniin50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's Zhoniin50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. Thanks, guys. So yeah, that's like the big question surrounding all of this. As we saw in the previous chapter, Akotsu took over Gojo's body using Kenjaku's curse technique, which I guess is being confirmed that its requirement for copying is Rika consuming a part of the user's body, which I guess it was, always kind of there the whole time since Ryu pondered that himself, but I digress. But as I was saying, it's like after his 5 minutes of being able to use a copy curse technique is up and Kenjaku's curse technique is no longer active, then what's going to happen with his brain? Is he just going to die? Is he going to continue to be Gojo? There's a small flashback after finishing swap training. Gojo takes a dig at Yuta, saying that his curse technique is too inconsistent, but he gets immediately rebuked by Maki, saying that Gojo's too strict on Yuta, and the others join her to defend tired Yuta. Yuta begins chants for Hollow Purple, but Sukuna immediately grabs hold of his arms and undoes the signs and punches him away. Sukuna thinks to himself that he won't let Yuta use that Hollow Purple. That's hilarious. I would have liked to have seen more of this. Because some of these moves require hand signs and whatnot, or chants, and Sukuna's just immediately stopping him from being able to use it. People actually should have been doing this to Sukuna, obviously. As he goes to activate the world cutting slash, he has to do the chants and the hand sign. So it's I'm sure there's plenty of characters who are fast enough to disengage him before he gets it off. Yuta uses blue and suddenly a recorder flies near Sukuna in which Inumaki screams, "Don't move." So yeah, this is insane. Suddenly there's this tape recorder and it plays Inumaki's voice and it works on Sukuna and he's not moving. So that means, Inumaki, through whatever jujitsu in his curse technique, can record that onto a freaking tape recorder and it'll still work on you. So now Inumaki has frozen Sukuna, and Sukuna is in shock as Yuta fully finishes the chants and loads Hollow Purple, which is ready to fire on Sukuna at any moment. So yeah, this was the big cliffhanger here. Inumaki finally coming into the fight, using his curse technique, curse speech, to freeze Sukuna. It's wow, I guess it does work on nearly anyone. But I suppose you still could brute force out of his command over you or his control over you. Which, Sukuna may very well likely do that in the next chapter. Or what actually happens here is that he can't break out of Inumaki's curse technique and he is frozen, and when he gets hit with this Hollow Purple from Yuta here, maybe it takes off Sukuna's other arms. And that could be Inumaki getting his revenge on Sukuna for taking his arm in Shibuya. So then it just leaves Sukuna with just no arms. Now he just has to fight with his legs or whatever, until he can at least use reverse curse technique. Or there's always the chance that he just gets, killed by this Hollow Purple, which is very possible, I guess, right? Also, this chapter was 13 pages, just like the previous chapter was. So I guess Gege might have turned this in beforehand, before he went on that 3-week break, possibly. Or he just got around to finishing it now. Either way, it seems like Gege is back to full strength, maybe. I don't know. But let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, guys. And if you liked it, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.